Hi equals, it's Kim. I'm here at Georgetown University where I am participating all week. This is Thursday. Participating all week in the Center for Juvenile Justice Reform, LGBT Youth Juvenile Justice Certification Program. And I haven't vlogged this week until now, and I don't actually have a specific topic. I wanted to tell you, first of all, that this exists. I'm here with groups from New York, and a group from Nebraska, and a group from Los Angeles County, a group from Rhode Island, some folks from Colorado, a couple of individual folks like myself who aren't part of groups, all learning as much as we can about LGBT juvenile justice. A number of experts in the field are here as our instructors. It's been highly educational. If you're into this kind of thing, I certainly recommend you looking up the Center for Juvenile Justice Reform, connected through Georgetown University in Washington, D.C., as something you might want to look into or at least learn more about. What have I learned? We had an amazing speaker yesterday about LGBT people with disabilities, developmental disabilities. You know, you talk about LGBT people being an invisible population, but when you layer on intersectionalities, so whether that's race or differently abled folks, you talk about making them even more invisible. When you layer on intersectionalities, Kimberly Crenshaw invented that word. Well, maybe she didn't invent the word. She invented it in its current iteration and what it means now. But when you layer on intersectionalities, disability, race, ability, ethnicity, then you create an even more invisible population. And LGBT kids, well, if you talk to people who actually work in LGBT juvenile justice, most know that they've served at least a few LGBTQ kids. Statistics in places that are actually counting them would say that in the juvenile justice system, 20% overall of the kids in the juvenile justice system are LGBTQ. The numbers go up if you are talking about girls. Percentage goes even higher when you're talking about LGBT people of color who happen to be identify as female. We are totally overrepresented in the juvenile justice system. Why? Could be a lot of factors. Family rejection can be one of them. School issues can be another. Over-policing of gender non-conforming people of color can be another. There's all kinds of reasons. But the amazing thing is we don't know, and here's why we don't know. Nobody's counting. And you've heard me talk about this before. If you can't talk about the numbers, at least nobody's counting in Ohio, if you can't say we're talking about 1,000 kids, 2,000 kids, 5,000 kids, if you can't say how many young people you're talking about and tie people's identity, whether it's their sexual orientation or gender identity and expression, to reasons why they're in the system, we can't answer these questions. You need to keep the data. And in Ohio, I understand, part of the problem is nobody's keeping data, really good data, period, regardless of whether it's about SOGI, sexual orientation, and gender identity. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about the need for counting. All right, allies and straight folks out there, this is what this means for you, is that you might get asked a sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression question, because I am certainly advocating that it needs to be asked universally. Everybody needs to be asked sexual orientation and gender identity questions, not just people that the interviewer thinks might be LGBT. Here in the conference, there was a trans man. I would never, and I hang around a lot of trans people, I would never have ID'd this guy as a trans man. No, it just never crossed my mind. I wouldn't have asked him a SOGI question if I was just asking people I thought were LGBT. So it has to be asked universally. Everybody has to get asked. All right, so straight allies, you need to practice answering this question so it doesn't take you by surprise. Well, not just straight allies, straight folks. All right, so if somebody asks you your sexual orientation, they could ask it a number of ways. They may ask you who you're attracted to. You say, I'm attracted to the opposite sex. If they say, what is your sexual orientation? You can say, I'm heterosexual. You can say, I'm straight. If you don't like the word heterosexual, that's an answer also. That's your sexual orientation. If they ask you a gender identity question, they may ask it a number of ways. It may look like this. What was your sex assigned at birth? So I'm cisgender, so I would have said female. And then they might say, and how do you identify, what is your gender? Might just be, what is your gender? Like they mean now. And I would say female. And based on those two, the answers to those two questions, the data collectors can say, okay, this is a cisgender person. So you don't even have to remember the word cisgender, probably. I mean, maybe along the line and society progresses and everybody knows what cisgender means, maybe that becomes an answer. But it's really just, there'll be questions that say, what was your sex assigned at birth? What did the doctor put on your birth certificate? And how do you identify now? And if you answer the same way, it was female at birth, female now, then you are cisgender. It's really easy. It's not embarrassing. It's just questions. All right, folks, that's it for today. I got to head back into my 4th day of this certification program and learn some more stuff and get myself all energized to move forward with this project when I get home next week. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Help me by subscribing. The more subscribers I have, the more YouTube will promote my videos. So please help me by subscribing. And if you hit the little bell, you can get notifications every time I put up a new video. Have a great weekend, equals. Bye.